living the life. Yes, but living the life. Yes, but living the life. Yes, but.
Ciao and welcome back to Living the Life, Yes But. Today we're gonna talk about my first day in the United States, and I will anticipate you that it's not gonna be an easy day for me. I left Genoa, that's my hometown in Italy, early morning of January 1st, 2023. 7 a.m. was the flight, Genoa to Rome, and then had to get another flight from Rome to Los Angeles, and then another flight from Los Angeles to San Francisco. It was about a 21 hours trip. And so I get ready in the morning. I lost the New Year's Eve with my friends because I had to be at home. It was also pouring outside, so I couldn't get out, and the flight was too early in the morning. My dad super stressed about me that I could ever lose the flight. So I decided to stay home with the family, and in the morning get my first flight to Rome. The first difficulty, maybe I would say, comes out in LA. I get to LA and I find out there's a big delay in the third flight, the one to San Francisco. And also I had to get out of the airport in Los Angeles. I didn't know about it because you have to take your luggages and change terminal. I was out in the sun in LA and it was weird for me. I was like, but I have to still get another flight. But anyway, cutting it the story, I get the last flight, get to San Francisco, but the coach was supposed to come pick me up at the airport. The flight got delayed. I get there instead of 7 p.m. I land at around 10:30 p.m. And so coach texts me and says, sorry, Davide, I cannot be there tonight. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Get an Uber. I was like, amazing. And so I get the Uber. But what was the problem? The problem is that I didn't have a house at that point because I was supposed to stay on campus, but campus was still closed. And so another teammate told me I could have stayed at his house, but it was not there. So he told me, you can pick up the keys of the house under a rock in front of the door. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So I get an Uber, I get to the house, and the keys are actually under the rock. So that was good. I was happy about it. I was like, I made it. I get the keys, but I realized there's just one key. And I'm like, is it this right? Because usually there should be two keys, like one for the door of the building and one for the house. So I try the key and it works. So that was a good news. But the problem was that now which key should I use to get into the door of the apartment? It was midnight, maybe even later, and I'm like, try to call, obviously, my teammates, my coach, but no one would answer. And so I tried to open every door that was there with that key, and obviously it was not working. And one guy actually got mad with me. I'm not gonna say what exactly he said. He was not nice to me, but I understand that. You know, you're trying to get into his house at midnight. So I keep trying. I get to the third floor. And at some point, I find an apartment that finally opens with this key. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. I didn't know that there were places where you can use the same key for the building and for the apartment, but maybe this is the case. I get in with 4 luggages. I get in and I'm like, oh, finally, I can sleep now. So the story could end now, but unfortunately it doesn't end now because there were no lights. No lights. I couldn't switch on the lights. Super cold, super cold. So I go there with the light on my phone, looking around to find the bed because the teammate told me, you can sleep on my bed. I get in. Guys, believe me, there was no bed. No bed. Nothing. No bed, no lights, super cold. The house was completely empty, and it was 1 a.m. in the morning of January 2nd at this point of 2023. and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if that was apartment, what was going on. So at the end, that was a bit scary, I would say, and I decided to get out of the door and stay in the stairs. Call my parents. Maybe I shouldn't have done it that because they got a little bit scared and stressed about it. This is a mistake that I did. Next time, maybe try to solve that on your own. Don't call your parents. They're just gonna freak out and not gonna help you. I just wait there in the stairs, hoping someone would get my call. No one still reply. Of course, 1 a.m. And I'm starting to look out for hostels or other rooms available in the area, but everything was so far away because the area was residentials. There were no rooms for hotels. Then I was ready to sleep in the stairs. I was too tired. Yeah. Consider there are 9 hours jet lag between San Francisco and Italy. Finally, end of the story. At probably 2 a.m., one of my teammates randomly replies to the phone call and says, "Oh my God, Davide, so sorry, bro. There's another key under the mat, and the apartment is the number 12. So use the key under the mat to open the door." I was like, Stevie, and if you hear this podcast, maybe you should have done better because you could have told me. And so I finally get this key, get into the apartment, get into the bed. I go to sleep. And yeah, this is my welcome of the United States of America. Grazie. And in the next episodes, we're going to talk about other of my stories where you can be influenced, get some tips, maybe don't do the same mistakes I did. And because I should have probably asked my teammate to give me better instructions if he didn't. But next time, if I move into a new place and someone tells me you can stay in my house, but I'm not going to be there, I'm just going to leave your key under the rock, I'll make sure that the instructions will be clear. See you in the next episode. Ciao, alla prossima.
Living the life, yes, but living the life, yes, but living the life.